So that is the hour meter on my 2017 250 XCF. And I've never opened the engine more than to change the clutch and check the valves. That is where the engine sits now. So this is the engine that I had the flywheel weighed in with the epoxy that failed. And I mean, that crap went through the oil system. I knew at the time that I should rebuild it, but it kept on running, so I didn't. I just kept on racing this thing. And, you know, that was many hours ago. And it kept on going for quite a long time. And now it's time to rebuild because it stopped being reliable. It ran great still. When it was running, it was great. Getting it started became a problem, and when I checked the valves, they did seem to still be in spec, but the bike just doesn't want to start. It's definitely low on compression compared to what it was when it was new. So I've got all new bearings. I'm going to redo all the bearings. Got the connector rod repair kit already, new piston, and hopefully I can just re-sleeve this. That's the head. This tiny little pancake here is the cylinder. Hopefully I can just re-sleeve that and or not re-sleeve, recoat, whatever it is they do. And we'll see what kind of machining has to be done in the head for the valves. I imagine there's going to be some, and I'll have to order new valves still. Yeah, got some all-purpose cleaner / degreaser from Home Depot. I'm going to give that a try on here, see if I can't clean it up a bit before I start trying to open things up. Okay, lots of scrubbing and lots of wiping, and it's a lot better. It's by no means perfect, but I'll be cleaning everything as I go anyway, and this is getting a complete and total tear down, so all the parts are going to get cleaned eventually anyways. So as long as I'm not having to worry about things scraping with like dirt getting against anything and abrasion, should be okay. Good enough to start. 246 hours on this engine, and the valves are still in spec. Okay, so this bike has been sitting for years. Well, I've ridden a Husky 2-stroke intending to fix this thing and just haven't gotten around to it until now. Now, if you can see in there, I don't know if the camera's picking it up. Obviously, there's a little tear in the cover here, and I can see some frayed wires inside. I know I pinched this. This is the gear select, or the gear indicator pickup sensor. So I know I pinched it once, and it looks like maybe the wire's frayed even more since then, and this could actually be why the bike didn't want to start. It might be nothing to do with the engine. It could just be this little thing. I'm going to open it up a bit more here, get a better look. I wish I had better lighting. Make sure I'm not cutting any wires. Go that way, and that way. Oh, this is so stiff from being right next to the engine. It's gotten hot. Oh, and there's dirt in there. Yeah, I should have done a better job of dealing with this rather than just riding. This is the issue with the old, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes you need to fix things so that they don't get more broke. I don't know if this camera's even going to focus on that. But you can see the sheath on that white wire is broken. But that has, I mean, it's not like the wire itself is broken. I should have taken care of this to keep everything clean, and I'll put some new shrink wrap on it, but I think it's actually okay. Okay, well, I've got better lighting now, and I don't know if the camera shows it, but I got a good look at this wire in here. So the plastic's broken, but the wires themselves aren't even frayed. So unless, yeah, this is not causing any issues with the bike not wanting to start. Now, what is completely wild to me is I just checked the valves again, and I compared the measurements to the notes I have from when I've checked the valves before, and the clearances haven't changed at all in like well over 100 hours. It's changed a tiny little bit from when the bike was brand new, and that's it. So obviously I'm going to check the lobes and make sure that they're still in spec and that they haven't been worn down, but you know, there's not really much indication of actual wear or any issues there, but I'll check them. And yeah, I'm just expecting the inside of the valves in the head to be pitted, and there's got to be a problem in there. They can't still be in good condition after 246 hours of a hard life. This bike has not had it easy for that time by any stretch. Anyway, time to tear into it some more. Alright, so there's a bit of evidence of, you know, some wear, I guess. Not a whole lot, but it looks like there's been some cams spinning around inside this engine, so you know, doesn't look brand new, but I'll have to measure things and see if I can make this focus a little better. No, I don't think I can. Alright, have to measure things and see what we get. So that's what the inside of the head looks like. Obviously I'm taking the valves out so that I can see what it looks like underneath those. And there's the top of the cylinder, or the piston. I am actually surprised at how clean all of this is right now. Huh. It looks like the camera should pick that up. You can see a little bit of wear on the front, and I guess that's the back, and the front of the cylinder. You can, oops, put the camera in the right place. Still see the cross-hatching, the honing marks on the sides, which is kind of expected. On my 500 XCF, or EXCF, when I tore that down at 300 hours, there wasn't even any wear on the front and back of the cylinder. I just put in new rings and well, I put in a high compression piston and just ran it and it's been great ever since. There's actually a little bit of a scar right there. And yeah, the front. Oops. Front is definitely showing its age. So, an engine that revs at 14,000 RPM, you can kind of expect it to wear out eventually. Now, if you're dumb like me, you may have put the cylinder head upside down to get a look at the inside of it, and you might end up having the valve shims fall out of place. Now, if you're lucky like me, you might only have one fall out, and then you can easily mark up the bag showing where that valve shim goes, and then do the right thing and take the rest of the valve shims out and put them in a bag. And then you can just put the valves and springs in that same bag, or the corresponding bags as well. If it's not super clear right now, I am not a mechanic, so yeah, I just like how things work and figuring out how things work and seeing how they work and fixing stuff myself. So I make little mistakes along the way, but I can always fix them. So there we go, that's the top end tear down. And I'll get that piston out of there soon, and then start on the bottom end.